looks like it. All right, let me do my spamming. Where am I? No, Kickstarter, videos, there we go. Videos and streams. Hey. Oops. Well, that's repetitive. There we are. Let's see. Oh, that's the wrong button. Hey, there we go. All right, there we go. Whee! All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to rock and roll. Let's go over here. Cool. Hey, what's going on? So tonight we are doing a Q&A. So you ask questions, I'll answer and stuff like that. And you know, we should see if there's anything spicy in the news or something, things we can talk about. I don't know if there's any controversies. I mean, did anybody blow anything up over the holidays? I mean, that happened last year and the year before, I think. So it's a good time to drop some bombs. You know, like D&D crap. That's what I'm referring to. Because I know that in the real world, bad things happened on New Year's Day. I'm aware of that. I'm not referring to that. I'm referring to like D&D stuff. So anyway, doing Q&A today. We do have a giveaway going on. We'll give away $50 DM Lair store credit to whoever wins the giveaway. We'll do that. We'll draw the winner at the end of the stream. And then, yeah, that's pretty much today. You mean scandals? Yeah, I mean, yeah, if there are any scandals, sure. If there's anything like that going on, that'd be awesome. I mean, give us something to talk about, right? All right. This is my doggy. You guys have seen my doggy, right? Where's the doggy? Come on, where's the doggy? Where's the doggy cam? There we go. Doggy cam. This is her reindeer outfit right now, and her princess bed. Today she's a reindeer. She also has like a Santa Claus dress, like Santa Claus little helper dress or something that we have her wear from time to time. You know, she just wears whatever we put her on her. She's like a little, you know, like a little kid when they're like 5 years old and you dress them up. You can make them do whatever you want. And he's like, put this pretty dress on. Okay, daddy. Yeah, she's awesome. Okay, so Dreams Con is asking about Dungeon Drifters. So this is Dungeon Drifters right here. So this is the board game that we're launching a Kickstarter for this, and it's planned for April. You're gonna start hearing about it a lot on my videos and all that good stuff. This is a prototype box right here. The game isn't done yet. We're still developing it, but we're in a pretty good spot actually. Zach and I we've been playtesting the game. We've been designing and playtesting the game since August, I think. And our last playtest, which was this last Monday was the last playtest we did on it. And we both felt we were in a really good spot, and we are now opening up the playtesting to a closed group of other folks that we trust. So development is going well. So everything is, I mean, you know, games take longer to design and develop. You know, we're getting into the gaming space, like board games, right? This is not a tabletop RPG. This is a board game. When you saw this screen, this right here kind of shows you some of the little fiddly bits. Like we're gonna have these miniatures, these acrylic full color miniatures. We have most of the artwork already done for it, and there's gonna be a map. You'll have cards. You can't see the cards too well on that image, but I have some prototype cards. I can show them to you on the camera. This is like the box cover, you know. And it's the prototype. Who knows? We might fiddle with it as we go, but that's what we got right now. And then the cards, we have prototype cards too that we have done, and so they have the, you know, standard backs. Like I love these like geometric type backs, so that's what we did just because I like it. And then so you have like the monster cards. No, these are the player cards here. Then you have these are the loot cards, and then there are monster cards right here. So, and then the front sides of them, like these are some of the monsters that we have: Goblin Snatcher, Scavenger, Skeleton Slasher. These are the characters. You have Saul, Brielle. Like the artwork we have, you can't see it too super well because it won't stay in focus, but the artwork is amazing. This right here is my favorite character, Frank. This is my favorite character. He's freaking awesome. I literally bought a beer hat and a beer belt. There was such thing as a beer belt. I bought a beer hat and a beer belt to make videos for advertising for the Kickstarter. So that's my favorite character. And then we have like a Natalie. I don't know. I think I showed a lot of these to you already. I'm getting them all mixed up anyway. But we have prototype cards and stuff. They look really nice, really slick. So what we're going to be doing is, if you're going to GaryCon, I will be running prototype games, playtest games, I suppose you call them. I'll be running playtest games for Dungeon Drifters at GaryCon. That's March 20th or so. It's in the city where D&D began. Why am I drawing a blank on the name of that city? It's like in Wisconsin. Lake Geneva, thank you. There we go. I'm a genius. So we'll be running, if you're gonna be at GaryCon this year, I'm running prototype games, playtesting games. There are 4 slots I have for running the playtest game. And I don't know when GaryCon opens up. I don't know when they allow you to start signing up for games and slots and stuff. I don't know when that opens up. But actually, you probably find out by looking at their site. I bet you that'll work. GaryCon. Let's see if we can figure this out. Where's my... There we go. GaryCon. So it's March 20th, 23rd. I don't know when they're going to let me register. Get your badge. We don't need a badge. This might tell us. Diamond event ticket sales. I'm not a diamond. I don't know. So normal people are silver, I believe. I think normal people are silver. That's a standard badge. So February 22nd, it looks like you can start getting tickets, event tickets. So the event tickets only open up a month in advance of the convention. Wow, that's like a short window. I'm used to it being longer, but whatever. Anyway, you got a month to. So when it opens, you probably want to, if you want to playtest Dungeon Drifters, then that's a good time to do that. Uh-oh, my dog is going after someone. He's gonna kill him. She's really good at barking at like every sound. Like any type of sound in the house or something, she barks. She's very good. She's very good at that. That's what dogs are supposed to do. Bark at crap. They let you know so you can quit your gun, you know? All right. And for that reason, I think small dogs like that are almost as effective as a big dog because they eat less, they poop less, they're more manageable. I can just pick her up and take her places. I don't hit weight limits at hotels, you know, and yet she does everything she's supposed to do. She barks at crap, and she's a little monster too when she's doesn't like something. So anyway, come to GaryCon, play test with that with me. And then what was I gonna say? We also have a link where you can sign up. We have like a Before the launch of the Kickstarter, we were doing a thing. It's called like pre-sales, but it's basically like, it's a reservation where you can put $1 down and you're going to get a special miniature. A miniature, their loot drop, their card, and all that kind of stuff. And the dollar you put down goes toward your Kickstarter pledge. But it's like a reservation you put in advance, and that gets you the free miniature and their card and loot drop for free when you back to Kickstarter. So there's a link down in the chat. I have a link in the description of the live stream as well, and then I'll get one in the pinned comment as well. But if you put down a reservation before the Kickstarter launches, then you're gonna get that for free. And then you can also learn more about the game and stuff by clicking that link as well, because it's got like a whole page that kind of tells you more about the game and all that kind of stuff. But it's a dungeon exploration game, so you're gonna have a little token, you're gonna have a little character that you're gonna go kill monsters, you're gonna beat the crap out of stuff, you're gonna get loot, you're gonna get more powerful, you're gonna beat more monsters up. Though it is a competitive board game, which means that if, let's say you're playing with like 4 of your friends, you guys are competing against each other to get the most loot and then escape the dungeon first. And so that it's competitive in that regard, and you're killing monsters, and you take control of the monsters too, and then you can use their special abilities against the other players. So it's pretty cutthroat. When Zach and I are playtesting, we're both trying to like screw each other in a way. You can trade for equipment and stuff, but you're really trying to win and you want everybody else to lose. So it's kind of a cutthroat competitive dungeon crawl where you're powering up and stuff. The other thing that we were very intentional about when we were designing it is making it very fast to set up. So I play a lot of board games, a lot of these like scenario-based board games like Frosthaven, Gloomhaven, Massive Darkness, Zombicide, all these sorts of like dungeon crawly type board games. And what defines a lot of these games is a long setup time. It could take an hour or more to get a scenario set up, and then it probably takes you an hour, 2 hours to play the scenario, but sometimes you spend almost as much time setting the scenario up as you do playing it, especially if you lose. If you lose quickly, then So, but what we wanted to do was make a board game, a dungeon crawl board game, one that's competitive, because all the ones that I've played at least were always cooperative, and I kind of wanted a competitive one, but we also wanted to be able to set it up quickly and start playing quickly. And so that's another thing that defines our game, is competitive, and then it's very fast setup, and you start playing very quickly. So anyway, there's links and stuff if you're interested, and you can check it out, all that kind of stuff. They made a Dada Battle Chess TTRPG. I've never played Dada. What does that stand for? I've heard of it. I've definitely seen that abbreviation, and I know that it's like a popular game. It's not really, we used Munchkin for inspiration to a certain degree, but there's literally a dungeon map and you're moving your tokens around, and then there's battlefield positioning and tactics and strategy and stuff that you use. So I would not say that it's like Munchkin. You might see some resemblance between maybe the artwork and some of the crazy names and pieces of equipment. Like we have Frank's beer hat is one of the pieces of equipment that you can get from a loot drop, right? And then we have like French fry baskets and stuff. We have like crazy types of loot that you can get. So there's some inspiration drawn there and some similarities maybe, but the gameplay is fairly distinct from Munchkin's in my opinion. So that's Brielle's bucket of fries is one of the loots you can get. Looks like we got doubles printed of some of these. So then we have the Fairy Princess toy bubble wand is a piece of loot you can get. Here's Frank's beer hat. So Frank's beer hat, you can get that piece of loot too. So anyway, I've talked about that enough. We probably want to get on to the questions and stuff, the Q&A and stuff like that. All right, so Q&A, let's go. Dungeon Master questions, Game Master questions, all that kind of stuff. Just throw them in the chat. I will prowl through and answer stuff. Scandal, like Hasbro pairing up with Games Global Gambling. Really? Are they really? What is that? What is that? Games Global. Let's see what that says. Hasbro and Games Global. What is that? Oh, it is a casino. It's like a casino and games. What is this? Let's look at this. This came out in December. I'm not aware of what this is. Let's read this together and see what this says. IGB. What is that? I don't know if that's a reputable source or not. Dungeons and Dragons Tales of Riches among highly anticipated iGaming IP releases. So Games Global unveils exciting partnership with Hasbro. Ooh, it's an exciting partnership. To do what? First piece of the collaboration is slated for Q1 of 2025. So that's like very soon. Is Dungeons and Dragons Tales of Riches, a Neon Valley Studios. I don't know what this crap is. Further iGaming products based on Dungeons and Dragons are planned for the future as part of this multi-game collaboration. So what is this supposed to be? Does anybody know what this is? Like, what kind of game is this? Dungeons and Dragons Tales of Riches. What is this? It's not a gambling game, is it? D&D has mandatory gambling? I don't know. I don't know what this is. Celebrating its 50th anniversary in 2024, Dungeons and Dragons has... That's like a non sequitur almost. Dungeons and Dragons has captivated fans across generations and become a cultural phenomenon. The world's greatest role-playing game. I hate that moniker. That is such a subjective moniker. The partnership with Hasbro will see Games Global diversify its branded content. Okay, what is this stupid thing supposed to be? The Hasbro brand is global and transcends the toy and game industry. Who cares? What is the game about? Look at this. The first of many exciting releases of collaboration. When you don't have a whole bunch to say in an article, this is what you put in an article. When you have a lot of nothing to say, this is how you write an article. The first of many exciting releases of collaboration. You won't tell us what it is. How are we supposed to be excited? The Dungeons and Dragons slot will combine Hasbro's world-building legacy with Games Global's enterprise, promising to deliver a game that engages, entertains, and transport players to new realms of fantasy. This is like marketing gobbledygook that means absolutely nothing at all. So we've learned nothing. We've learned nothing at all, except that there's a game coming soon, and we know nothing about it. So I guess we're gonna have to do a Google search on what this is, and maybe we can find out what the heck this is. Oops, that's Gary Con. We don't want to go to Gary Con. I mean, we are going to Gary Con, but that's not the whole point. Oh, hey, look at it. AI will tell us. AI. All right, well, to the rescue. Waterdeep Dragon Heist, get rich or die trying. Oh, well, I think we got the wrong one. Nope, AI screwed it up. Oh, man. Does anybody know what this thing is? Was that article written by ChatGPT? I mean, I don't know. I use ChatGPT for certain things, and ChatGPT does a whole lot better job than that, just to be perfectly honest with you. So I don't think so. I think you would it would have been better written by ChatGPT, in all honesty. So Goliath is saying it's just Hasbro's licensing D&D artwork to a gambling company. That's literally all it is. Are you kidding me? Hasbro is licensing D&D IP to a third party to use. What? Oh yeah, D&D is already gambling because it's using dice. So you're telling me we went through that whole article and they're literally talking about they're gonna release this game called Dungeons and Dragons Tales of Riches in Q1 of 2025. Like, what is that? Like, I get that you're saying it's just like they're licensing artwork, but that's literally saying that it's a game that's coming out in like between 1 to 3 months. It'll be coming out or something. It was written by Google's AI Gemini. iGaming is basically internet gambling. I'm trying to find more information. Yeah, Doom Hippie, if you can find something, dude, tell us. Tell me where to fucking look, because a D&D slot machine. So Annalise says, from what I have read so far, it is simply a slot machine with D&D themes. Oh my gosh. Oh, slot machines are just, you throw your money away at slot machines. Oh my word. Dude, it's a partnership. They've discovered the third kind of heat. Ooh, it's like the 11th medal or something. They found it. I have games global on another tab. It's all gambling. Yeah. They basically license out the brand to a slot machine gaming company. I mean, licensing is probably how Hasbro is going to have to make their money because they can't sell anything. they're not doing very well at selling stuff. So licensing is going to have to be how they make their money, right? King Retro, hello! First time DM here. Awesome! I feel so overwhelmed with the rules and everything that I think my storytelling may be lackluster. Do you have any tips? I wouldn't worry too much about the storytelling. I wouldn't really worry about that a whole lot. 80% of the storytelling happens with your players anyway. Like, I feel like calling the game master a storyteller is a misnomer. It is more accurate to call them, if you want, a lead storyteller, because they do take the lead in storytelling because they set the direction of where the story might possibly go. Like if you're running an adventure about goblins in the sewers, then the story that ends up getting told is going to be about goblins in the sewers, unless your players are like, screw that, and they go somewhere else, and then you're going to have a different story. So you can call the game master a lead storyteller for sure, but they're not the storyteller. They're a storyteller, and they take a lead role because they do determine more or less the direction of things in very wide swim lane, right? And then the players, based upon their actions, what they say and they do, in response to the general story, the general direction that the game master pushes things off in, then the story is going to get told by the players, right? And what they do and what they say, right? And obviously the game master is always going to be involved. They're going to be, you know, playing the NPCs. They're going to be adjudicating and stuff. And the dice. Let's not ignore the dice. The dice take a pretty big role in storytelling as well. Like if your rogue is trying to sneak up on a goblin, the dice are going to determine whether that story is the rogue slitting his throat or the goblin spinning around because he heard the rogue and stabbing at the rogue first. So the dice are part of storytelling as well. So I guess my point. So I wouldn't worry too much about storytelling. That's something that you're probably you'll get better at it as you do it, you know, and you can always just steal cool ideas from other places, you know. The rules, I'm going to put a caveat in this. I wouldn't worry too much about the rules as a new game master because it's overwhelming. You're never going to get them all right. But the caveat is that you should continue to try to read them and implement them in the game so that you can become good at the rules and you can have a general idea of the rules. Now, the rules you're going to use the most are the rules that have to do with any type of skill check, like athletics check, perception check, skill checks. Skill checks are probably 80% of the game, and then the other 20% of the rules you need to know, let's say 19% of the rules you need to know have to do with combat, and a lot of combat is skill checks too. So, but if you know the rules that are around skill checks, and you know the rules, especially the basic rules around combat, there's always a whole bunch of little like edge cases rules. You know, you might not learn everything, but if you know skill checks and combat rules, you're pretty good to go. And there's a whole lot of other stuff in the books that don't get used a whole lot, you know, and you can just kind of make on-the-fly rules as you go. So I wouldn't worry too much about knowing it all right away, but definitely try to keep learning them and eventually become a master at the rules so you know them well. Especially, you should know the rule, eventually the goal would be, in my opinion, to know the rules well enough that the ones that get used all the time, you don't even really got to think about it a whole lot. You can just run the game. But then the rules that don't get used a lot, you have an idea of where to look them up if you want to, or you can just make a quick ruling on it and then just move on and everybody just keeps on playing. So I would not worry a whole lot about that. It can definitely help though if you pre-made adventures can help you a lot. They can be a lifesend for you, a godsend for you. Because a pre-made adventure is going to already have the story created. It's going to have the read aloud text for you. It's going to have area descriptions. You know, it's going to have a lot of that stuff already made for you. So if you're a new game master, using pre-made adventures and even a pre-made world, you know, is going to save you a lot of work, in my opinion. And theoretically, pre-made content was designed by professionals who know what they're doing. So it should be fairly decent. Now, that's theory, another caveat there, because there's a lot of stuff that gets created that's official or whatnot that kind of sucks, isn't that great, you know, but pre-made stuff is pretty good. You know, we have some stuff over on the dmlair.com. We have pre-made adventures, Lair magazine and stuff too, if you care to look at that stuff. But you can just go get a module from the store too. You know, there's lots of pre-made modules as well. I got tons on my shelf. I never run all of them, but I buy them and they sit on my shelf and I never get to play them. Someday I would love to though. Oh, which reminds me, you guys, I'm going to be in a game. I'm gonna be in a game on Start Playing, and it wasn't full yet. Let me pull it up really quick, because maybe some of you want to play in the game with me. I'm trying to recruit players for it. I am not the game master. I am one of the players, and it wasn't full the last I checked. So I'm trying to recruit players for it so we can start playing. Oh, it's full now. Oh, never mind. It's full now. Well, that's good. I mean, I'm glad it's full. So this was the game. This is the game I'm going to be playing. And it wasn't full this morning. I think there were 2 or 3 players of this morning. And then I dropped the thing on my Discord and on my YouTube channel, and apparently enough people came and joined it, which is great, because I asked the game master, what was his name? DM Bobbio. This guy looked pretty cool too. Like, this is the game I'm going to be playing in. And this is the game master. He looked pretty cool. Like, he looked pretty sweet. So I'm going to play in a game with him. He has tons of games he's hosted too. So anyway, I told him, I was like, hey, I can help you grab some players maybe. And he's like, because he was telling me that these games it's like on a, what is it on? It's on a Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. He said that these games sometimes fill up pretty slowly. And so I offered to help recruit. And he's like, yeah, that'd be great. And so now we got a game. So that means, Zach, that we're going to be playing next week, right? Next Tuesday. So it's every Tuesday. So I assume we're going to start playing next Tuesday. That's cool. It's going to be Waterdeep Dragon Heist. And then after that, I don't know what we're going to be doing. But I would love to play Dungeon of the Mad Mage. If we could go from Waterdeep Dragon Heist to Dungeon of the Mad Mage, I'd be super happy, because I've game mastered almost all of Waterdeep Dragon Heist before, and I mostly liked it. There was one chapter that was kind of like meh, but it was fairly decent. But Dungeon of the Mad Mage, that's a solid adventure. That's a good old-fashioned dungeon crawl with a whole bunch of social interactions baked into it. That is a solid module right there. I like Dungeon of the Mad Mage. A lot of people are like, I think people maybe, I've seen some people put it down a little bit because they're just like, oh, it's just a dungeon crawl. You just keep going deeper into the dungeon. But it doesn't get, I don't think it gets the credit that it deserves, because there's so much like social interaction opportunities, role playing as people usually call it, and then there's factions inside the different levels of the dungeon that interact with each other. There's a whole lot of stuff going on in that module. It is really well done. I think it gets a bad rap and people like put it down because it's just a dungeon crawl. I love dungeon crawls. That's my preferred style of play anyway. So anyway. Oh, we're gonna have to reschedule all of our meetings, Goliath, because our meetings are every other Tuesday, and that game is literally every Tuesday. It's weekly. So we're gonna have to move our meetings. I was actually thinking about that. We're either gonna move our meetings to Monday or we're gonna move our meetings to Friday. I don't know if it's better for a Monday or a Friday to have a meeting. I don't know if you have a preference, but Monday, it could be Monday. Maybe Monday is the best day to get the meeting done and over with. I don't know. Okay, we have a giveaway going on, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you click the link in the chat and crap and join the giveaway. you can get in on $50 DM Lair store credit. If you win, we'll draw the winner at the end of the giveaway. Yeah. A 10+ player Waterdeep campaign? Oh my word, how did that work? How did that work? Jeez, it's a lot of players, man. Yeah, that's one of the 2 modules that go to level 20. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's pegged pretty much as a sequel to Dungeon Heist. Yeah. I still have the 2 Undermountain box sets from, ooh, nice, Undermountain. Yeah, I don't think I have the entire Undermountains. I don't have the box sets, but I think I have the campaign setting for Waterdeep. And then I have its 2nd edition Waterdeep campaigns. Not Waterdeep, it's like I have the box set for Waterdeep. And there was a city system box set as well. I have both of those box sets. And I'm pretty sure that one of them has a bunch of Undermountain in it. I don't know which one it was. Maybe each of them has a little bit of Undermountain in it. But there was definitely some Undermountain in at least one of those. And it's pretty cool. I never actually ran it, but I just read through it and look at it. It's like, oh, this is really cool, man. Yeah. 10 is way too many. I mean, 10 is way too many for my taste. I was once in a game with about 10 players, and it was a slow game. The pace was really slow, and a lot of the players barely ever talked. And if every player had talked and been speaking all the time, then the pace would have been even slower. But yeah, it takes a special game master and probably special players to make a 10-person game like really, keep a good pace. And you know what I mean? If that makes sense. Satori, hello. My players recently have been captured by an army of Sahuagin. They are known to be vicious and intelligent creatures. How would you handle the situation without TPKing all the party? Well, what are the motivations with Sahuagin? What do they want? What do the Sahuagin want? That's the big question. So, once you determine what the Sahuagin want, then the question is, how are the Sahuagin going to try to get what they want by using the player characters, right? So they might, you could be like, how would they do that? So they could ransom them maybe, right? Like, but who are they going to ransom them to? Maybe as the game master, that one of the players, their character, they're from a rich noble family. Maybe they have the noble background. Well, maybe the Sahuagin are after gold, not because they want gold, but because they want to buy some special treasure from a dragon turtle. There's a dragon turtle that has a treasure hoard, and dragon turtles are intelligent, and this dragon turtle in particular is willing to sell treasure if the Sahuagin can pay for it, right? And there's some magic items in that dragon turtle's treasure hoard that the Sahuagin want. And so the Sahuagin are like, they're basically trying to ransom the players, the characters, to the nobleman's family or something, or to anybody to get gold for the treasure. Well, it might come out that the players learn that Sahuagin want this treasure, right? They overhear the guards talking or something, right? And then then that puts a little bit of a hook there. And then the players know, oh, the Sahuagin want treasure from that dragon turtle's hoard. Well, what we could like volunteer to go get it for them as part of getting ourselves released. So we could go get the treasure for them and they'd let us go, type of thing. Now, of course, the Sahuagin, they're not going to just let them go with no guarantee that they're just not going to wander their ways and never get the treasure and come back. So they're going to want some sort of token type of thing, right? So the Sahuagin might learn more about the nobleman's family. They might go kidnap his sister or something and hold her hostage and then release the characters and be like, all right, you're going to go to the dragon turtle and get this treasure for us. We don't care how you do it, but you got to go do it. So the thing is, and this is just like, this is spitballing here. This is spitballing. Think about what the Sahuagin want. Think about how they can manipulate or use the adventurers to get what they want somehow, right? And that's the brainstorming you go through. You might look at the characters' backstories and those sorts of things or whatever, or think about what's going on in your campaign, think about neighboring settlements and stuff like that. Maybe there is a settlement of, so there's Sawagan, and then there's another underwater species race that is like evil as well. So Sawagan are underwater and evil, but there's another one that are underwater and evil as well, and they look like mermen almost, except that they're evil and stuff, and I forget what they're called. Somebody in chat will know. But maybe the Sawagan are warring with that neighboring evil species, and maybe there can be an opportunity for the characters to like barter for their release to go attack those other bad guys for the Sawagan, to help the Sawagan. I don't know. Kuo-toa wasn't what I was. Marrow was what I was thinking of. Now Kuo-toa is also very evil and crazy, but Marrow was the ones I was thinking of. So there are some, you set up a scenario, right, that can somehow, the Sawagan can manipulate or use or get the adventurers to help them or something as part of being released or something. That way, and then not only does it not just, we're just gonna kill you all, right, but it leads to another adventure. Think about how you can use that situation to create an adventure for the characters to go on. That's the ultimate goal, right? As the game master, your entire job is to create problems in the game world that the players need to go on adventures to overcome. That's the entire job of the game master. Create scenarios, create problems, players then have to go on adventures to overcome them. So in this scenario, think about what adventures could be created, that the players have to go on, and that sort of thing. So that is the line of thinking that I would take, and where you go with that and the specific details of that are going to be up to you, right? Goblins are more trustworthy than humans. Change my mind. No, I think you're probably right. You can always trust a goblin to be greedy and evil, right? Unless you're an Eberron. Eberron goblins, some goblins are fairly good, and then others probably are. No, I mean goblinoids. There are some goblinoids that are bad, but a lot of them tend to be like kind of neutral or good, or sometimes good or evil. But it depends on the world you're in. But most of the time, goblins, you can depend on a goblin to be greedy and probably be a bad little boy. Yeah, I think I agree with you, dude. How easy would it be to subjugate a species that cannot walk? You mean like a fish-based species? You just put a bunch of salt in the water and dry it up or something? I don't know. Have you read the 5.24 DMG player handbook yet? If so, what's your opinion on them? No, I haven't read them. I've glanced through them a little bit, but I haven't really read them. I am literally, okay, so check this out. This game that I was telling you about just a little bit ago that I'm joining, like literally, the reason I'm joining this game as a player is because this is a 5th edition game that uses the 2024 rule set. And I'm joining this game in large part so I can learn these rules a little bit better, and I can know and see how they work and stuff like that. I know they're very similar to like what I already know and stuff, but it was a good opportunity, and to do that, because what's going to happen is we obviously we make D&D 5th edition products, we publish them, and so at some point we're going to have to switch over our publications to 5th edition 2024. At some point, that's going to be something that we're going to have to think about and consider whether we're going to do this or not. And for instance, we have probably around August or something, we're going to be doing, or we're planning on doing a Kickstarter for Escape from the Fae, which is the sequel to Into the Fae, which we already published. And so we were talking about it, well, Escape from the Fae, that's going to be, the Kickstarter is going to run at the end of this year, but it won't get fulfilled until 2026. So like at that point, are you still going to be publishing 5th edition 2014, or are you going to go to 2024? Now, the interesting thing is that if we were to publish 2024, it might actually be more successful now, but 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years from now? What's the long tail of that publication, right? Like the long tail of it, almost every version, almost every edition, becomes more and more popular until it becomes like everybody's kind of playing it. Usually, fourth edition was like the redheaded stepchild, and didn't really happen with that for reasons. I don't really foresee this with 2024. So, 5 years from now, most people are probably going to be playing 2024. So if we publish something like that's 2014, the tail of sales is going to be going down. You know what I mean? So we're probably going to have to, at a certain point, switch over to 2024. It's just the way you got to run the business, right? Because you want the tail of sales to at least remain steady. You don't want to intentionally make a product that after a couple years is not going to sell anything. That would not be a smart way to run your business. So we need to basically do like research, and we need to learn more about the new rules so that we can publish a product using the new rules. It's just common sense to do that. So anyway, that's one of the big reason we're joining that game, so we can learn that crap. It also might be kind of fun to just kind of like be a player and stuff. I'll probably die a lot so that I can make more characters. At what level do you think a 3-player party should be ready to fight a demi-lich big bad? Also, do you have any tips for running a pirate demi-lich that wants to control the seas? Thank you. Well, in Eberron, there is a pirate demi-lich, or a pirate lich, basically, over in the eastern part of Eberron, at Corvair, where all the islands are. I forget her name, but she's like a lich queen, basically. I mean, I don't know. What level is the demi-lich? Let's see. Let's go to D&D Beyond. Let's see what level a demi-lich is. Game rule. Where are my tools? Encounters? There we go. Oh, it's gonna make me sign in. How do I sign in? Okay, there we go. Okay, so demi-lich. Okay, so a demi-lich is a CR 18. A demi-lich is a CR 18. That's not the only consideration. It has 80 hit points and an armor class of 20. That's very important to note that. All right. And it's got a whole bunch of crap that it can do, but whatever. It's important to know that it has an armor class of 20, which means that characters are going to hit it pretty easily at higher levels, especially. And its hit points are so few that it will die very fast. If a couple melees get next to it, this thing is toast. Especially if one of them is a paladin, or like a fighter with like second wind and crap. Not second wind, action surge. So that's the first thing to look at. Look at the monster. Now let's go over to my favorite tool for calculating encounters right there. And you had 3 players. They are, well, we don't know what level they are. So the number of monsters. We have 1 monster that is a CR 18. Now the thing is if you put only that demi-lich against your party, it is gonna get destroyed very fast. I don't care what the math says, it will get trounced. It's gonna just die. So you can't, it's got to have minions. You have to have minions. Now if it's a level 18 creature, its minions should probably be maybe around level 5. I'm just spitballing for the sake of doing some quick math. And let's say that we want to have 5 minions. Okay, so if we have a level 18 creature with 5 minions, now we have some action economy that kind of works with the characters. Usually a CR5 creature's got a little bit of staying power, some hit points, it can deal a little bit of damage and stuff. Its attack number is probably not going to be that great, so it might not do a lot of damage, but it's going to be a meat sack that will keep the players off from the demi-lich. And the demi-lich is a spellcaster, right? Oh, it's not really a spellcaster. Well, a lich is, but a demi-lich is not really a spellcaster. I don't care that it has legendary actions. Legendary actions don't help with the fact that it is super squishy at high levels. So I don't really care about legendary actions. So this is probably how I'm going to structure it. Just throwing some numbers up here. Now we just start punching in numbers. What if they're level 5? Yeah, they die. The adjusted difficulty rating is that. Now, let's say they're level 10. 3 characters at level 10, they're probably still going to die. 3 characters at level 15. Well, here's the thing, though. I should have pointed this out, too. Because these CR5s are so much weaker than the 18, you usually don't even include them in the calculations for the challenge. Now, you have to have them in the combat to, like, keep the players off from the demi-lich lest you die really quickly. But let's just remove them and let's not include them in the calculations. See, now we're about where we're supposed to be. So this, you could probably have 3 15 level characters go against the demi-lich with like 5 CR5 minions, and I think it would be perhaps a little challenging. I think they might work up a sweat on that. Now, oh, you know what? The one thing we kind of screwed up on a little bit is there are only 3 characters. So if we have 5 minions, the action economy really swings toward the monsters, and then he has legendary actions, so that might be a problem too. So I might drop that down to maybe 3 level 5 minions. That way you don't have quite the big swing in action economy. But at the end of the day, this is all just your best guess and spitballing and guessing, and it's gonna you need to take into account the strength of your characters. You know, do you have a paladin? Paladins at high levels are very effective, super strong. Do you have like good DPS characters like a rogue or something that can really smoke things? Or do you have like a utility caster wizard who's gonna like, well, I don't know, he might be able to do some good crowd control against these minions or something. So you got to think about your group too. I think those are important considerations. But at the end of the day, the math for D&D 5th edition really sucks, and it's really swingy, and it can't be trusted. So you're really just taking your best guess and hoping that everything's okay. Unfortunately, that is the state of D&D 5th edition currently. Now, I don't know, maybe once we have the monster manual for 2024, which is being released in 2025, once we have that, then we can actually see what the game, the 2024 version, you know, the game in its totality actually shapes up to be. Maybe things got a little bit better, a little bit more balanced, shall we say. I'm reading, trying to find some questions here. I just bought the deck of many things and found the cards really fun. However, I heard they can derail a campaign. They will. They will change. It's not that they'll ruin your campaign necessarily. It's that they are almost guaranteed to make your campaign go in a completely different direction. They're almost assuredly going to change things dramatically. So when I introduce the deck of many things as a game master, I have to completely accept the fact that my campaign might completely change. Whatever I thought was going to happen, you know, maybe I have this like plot line that has to do with this, that, and the other. That could all get thrown out the window. As long as I embrace that and I'm okay with that, then I'm like, I'll put the deck of many things in the game at a certain point, you know, but it'll probably change things and mess things up. Mess things up implies that it's a bad change, but it might not be. You know, there's a high chance that a character is going to die. There's a good chance that their soul's going to get sucked down into like, you know, the 9th hell or something like that. Like these things are probably going to happen, right? Yeah, but if you're okay with that, you know, and your players, you know, I have a video on my channel about the deck of many things. I literally introduced that. I have the game recording of my players' reactions when I pull out the deck of many things. You can look up the video. I included the gameplay when I was introducing it. I pulled out the deck of many things, and my players were like, oh, because like almost all of them knew what it was, and they were like, oh, And there were two of them that were like, I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that. And then three of my players actually drew from it. One of them, if I remember correctly, made out like a bandit. The third, she lost her soul. And then I think the other one did pretty well too. But one of them had her soul, like Tiamat. Her soul was sucked and taken control of by Tiamat. And then this was like a level 20 game. And so one of their subsequent adventures, the players all went down to the first level of the 9 Hells and fought Tiamat to get her soul back. And that was the last adventure of that campaign, actually rescuing her soul from Tiamat. So, I mean, we had tons of fun, but I introduced it like really late in the game. We were like level 18 or something like that. We were like really high level. I don't think we were 20 quite yet, but we were really high level when I introduced it, you know. But it was a really fun moment. So those types of magic items can be really fun and really cool, you know. And there could be a lot of excitement around it. But you know, some people's days might get ruined, you know, if they have a character they really love and their soul gets sucked down to Tiamat's palace, you know. Now my character, she was cool with it. She didn't really mind at all. She just made a new character and then eventually rescued her other characters, so she was cool with it. But you know, if you have players that are going to lose their crap, you know, when something bad happens to them, then you know you should take that into consideration, I suppose. Now, if you're running Pathfinder 2, their balancing and challenge system and how to create encounters is much more reliable for the most part than D&D 5th edition. Their math is much more tightly balanced. So I would trust what their math says. My inclination is always to trust their math, unless I've learned better. And usually their math is really tight. So, but it's not the same as D&D 5th edition. All right, where was it? I saw some more questions. Do you have a favorite plant monster to throw to level 8 party? Oh gosh, that's so specific. A plant monster plus their level 8? Oh, I have no idea. One that might be able to take over a village? I don't know, but we could probably find a plant monster for you. Monster type. Plant. And you said what? A level 8 party? You want a plant monster for a level 8 party that could take over a village. So I'll assume there are 5 players. They're level 8. You want a plant monster. Just one plant monster? You're gonna have one. That's not gonna be a challenge. That's gonna be medium. That might not be bad. Between level like CR 12 or 14 would probably be a good plant monster. So let's refine our search down a little bit. What are these things? These aren't even from, these are from different like supplements. Yeah, I don't own any of these. I own this one actually. I own Tome of Beasts. I haven't, well, I own Tome of Beasts, but I haven't bought it a second time for D&D Beyond, so I don't technically own it, I suppose. I don't know. There aren't a whole lot of plant monsters in the game. Yeah. Corpse Flower. That's a pretty cool one. The Corpse Flower is from Mordenkainen. No. Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes. That's a pretty cool one. You might look at that one. There aren't a whole lot. Plants aren't a whole lot. I would just homebrew something, dude. I would find the stat block of a monster at the right character, the challenge rating, and I would homebrew that sucker and just probably mostly use the same stat block, but just reflavor it and call it a plant monster and decide what it looks like. But use the stat block for like a demon or a devil or something that looked pretty cool. I thought would be fun in a fight. That's probably what I would do, because there aren't a whole lot of plant monsters in the game, you know. A GM I was playing a game in, the game master kind of railroaded a single player into drawing cards from the deck. Oh, that's not cool. and he refused, and we weren't able to progress. I had to speak to the GM privately about it. Yeah, that's a horse crap move. You can't just be like, well, you got to pull the card from the deck, or the game doesn't go anywhere. You got to pull it. You got to do it. You can't do that to a player character. You can't tell the player how to do that with their character. That's not cool. I'm looking for more questions. There was a whole bunch of questions. There was like a stream of questions, and then they scrolled off my stream. Oh, there they are. I see them again. Okay. Analea says, I need portals in or near ruins for my game. Preferably not Underdark for now. Portals. What kind of Forgotten Realms do you suggest? What part of Forgotten Realms do you suggest? Do you have a personal favorite area of portals? Well, you can put portals anywhere. So portals are just magical gateways. You can have those appear anywhere you want. So you want to have portals in or near ruins. So you want a cool place to take them to? I mean, Thay could be very interesting. Thay is off in the east, and it's ruled by the Red Wizards, and they are like power hungry. What would that be? A megacracy? A form of government that is ruled by mages. It's like megacracy or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce it. But Thay is pretty interesting. You might go with that. Forgotten Realms is an interesting setting. A lot of the Forgotten Realms are not super distinct. They have like little shades of flavor to them, but it's not like Eberron, where it's like, oh, over here, this, like in Eberron, in Corvair, or even the different continents, there's like really cool, interesting stuff, and there's things that distinguish them and make them unique. But Forgotten Realms is a very vanilla-ish game setting, in my opinion. There are like small distinctions between areas, but everything is kind of vanilla and blends together to a certain extent. I think Thay is probably a little bit of an exception, where there's actually something interesting there going on, which is probably why I said Thay to begin with. My games have been running Forgotten Realms for decades, before recently I switched to Eberron. But yeah, Forgotten Realms is, I don't know. You might do something in the desert. There's the Anarok Desert. The Anarok Desert used to not be a desert, and it used to be ruled by like wizards, powerful wizards. I forget the name of them. Somebody in chat will know. I'm drawing a blank on the wizards right now. But the desert might be interesting, because then you could make something cool. Ruins. Some ruins in your game world could go to some ruins in the desert from that wizards. Those wizards who's like their civilization is now extinct and destroyed and stuff. They used to basically have flying cities and stuff. Netheralians or something. Netheril, something like that. You might have them go to that desert, the Anarok Desert, and then you could create something really cool that has to do with the Netheril wizards and stuff. So that might be something to look at if you're looking for that. How would a savvy dungeon master determine the damage from something like, say, a very old black dragon landing right on top of you with its full weight? Oh, I mean, how would you do that? Instant death? I don't think you can go wrong with that. That's a really good question, man. I don't know how I would do that. I would just make something crazy, man. He like belly flops on top of you. What I would probably do is, ideally, I would think of that tactic before the game, and I would figure out what I wanted to do. And I would probably assign a damage number to it. I would determine how much damage it's going to be. It might be it might be like a full action to do a belly flop, and it covers like a 15-foot square or a 20-foot square, and everything in that area, I would probably add up its 2 claw attacks and its bite attack, and maybe its tail attack. I would add that damage together, and I would make like a, you know, whatever that is, like 12d12, whatever it happens to be. I would have that be the damage of its belly flop, and I would literally make the belly flop one of its actions that it could take. You know, its multi-attack is like claw, claw, bite, you know, but a legendary action could be a belly flop. That's one of its legendary actions it can use. And it might have a prerequisite. It might have to be at least like 30 feet in the air, you know, to do the belly flop. And it could be a really cool part of the battle, you know, like your boss fight rotation would be, you know, the dragon breathes fire, it strafes fire, it circles around, and then it belly flops. Boom! And it just smokes some people. And then it gets up from the belly flop, and it just claw, claw, bite, tail sweep, claw, claw, bite, tail sweep. You know? And then, by that time, maybe it's got its breath weapon back, it picks back up again, give a flyby attack, always give a dragon flyby attack, so that they can't opportunity attack it when it leaves its reach. And then it flies back up again, breathes fire, strafes, and then here comes the belly flop, right? Now at that point, now that the players know the belly flop is coming, they're probably going to be like, I'm going to like hold my sword up and skewer it type of thing, right? And then you're going to have to adjudicate that. You know, it might be an automatic crit or something if it like skewers itself on the belly flop, you know? So that's how I would do it. I would anticipate that tactic, because you're the game master. If you're running the dragon, you know what it's going to do in your battle. So I would plan for that in advance, and that's how I would implement it, I think. And that could be really cool. That would be really fun. Players would not see that coming. The belly flop. You might even, the dragon, if this is the strategy the dragon uses, the dragon might literally have like a special harness it wears that with like metal plates that cover its belly with spikes out of it. So like there's this dragon flying through the air with like, you know, a breastplate on basically with spikes, and it covers its belly and its chest, and the players are like, that's weird, we've never seen a dragon. And then ooh, here comes the belly flop, boom, you know, that would be really cool. That's a good idea. they would never see that coming. The belly flop. Oh, my drink is gone. All right, I'm gonna fill this up. I'll be back in 10 seconds. All right, there we go. This seems really hot. It's really watery too. I didn't put enough coffee grinds in this. It is hot. Okay. I'll let that sit there. Oh yeah, I'm so good. Yeah, man, it was like the steam. I burned my tongue, man. Doggy! Come here, doggy! Come here, doggy! Come on! Yee, doggy! Ah, the doggy's here. Say hi to people. Don't try to lick me. That's nasty. So dogs like lick their butts and stuff, and they try to lick you in the face. It's like they're just trying to pass like diseases to you, you know. This is our reindeer. Her name is Princess Tragedy. Princess Tragedy. You say hi to it. Say hi to the stream. Say hi to the stream. Don't try to lick me. Don't try to lick me. Don't lick me. I'm a tragedy. Her name is Princess Tragedy. Princess Tragedy. That's her name. Yeah. All right. Are you done? Are you done? You need a bath. Yes, you do. You need a bath. You need a bath. Yes, you do. She licked me in the eye. At least she didn't get my mouth. That's the dangerous part. Oh, we have a giveaway going on, ladies and gentlemen. There is a link down in the chat. Hopefully we can get a moderator to drop a link to our giveaway. We're going to be giving away $50 DM Lair store credit to the winner, and we will draw the winner to the giveaway at the end of the live stream. Also, you may have seen this sitting off to my side. This is Dungeon Drifters. This is the board game that we are currently designing. It's a dungeon exploration game. You basically have little acrylics, little miniatures that you go down into a dungeon. You kill monsters, you kill bad guys, you get their loot. You get more and more powerful, and it is a competitive game. So you're trying to compete against the other players to be the one to get the most loot and escape the dungeon first. And then, we'll see who wins and stuff based on how much loot you got and all that kind of stuff. Now this is like the prototype box, and we're doing prototyping right now. We're doing playtesting. I'll be at GaryCon doing playtesting as well. So GaryCon, you can't actually sign up for events until like February something or other. But I have 4 playtest events that I'm running at GaryCon. So if you want to playtest the game with me, come to GaryCon, and then we already have a bunch. We have some of the cards already right here, just our prototype cards. And then we'll have the full deck of cards. We'll have all the acrylic minis. We'll have the whole kick, bang, and shaboodle ready to go. The prototypes, of course, at GaryCon for us to playtest. And then we're also planning on, and this is still on the like, we want to do this stage, but we wanted to do some more playtesting at Gen Con in the summer as well. So anyway, the Kickstarter is going to run in April. It's planned for April right now. And we're still doing game design and stuff, and then playtesting and all that kind of stuff. But the Kickstarter is in April. There's a link down in the chat that you can click on that. You can learn more about the game. And then there's also a place where you can reserve your copy of the game. And when you place down a $1 reservation, you essentially are getting a free miniature, Silk Von Arachne, super, super cool. I need to have, do I have the picture of that? So I don't have him. These are some of the acrylics. Now, this is not a good print. Like, they had some problems cutting this, and so the company we were using at the time just kind of screwed our order up. But anyway, this was our first attempt at getting acrylic minis, and they screwed it up. So we're using a different company now, and the acrylics are on their way. It was like super easy. So, but anyway, I don't have Silk Von Arachne, but if you put down a $1 reservation, which counts toward your Kickstarter pledge when you back the project, you'll get Silk Von Arachne, super cool boss monster with his loot drop included for free when you back the project. So there's a link in the description, link in the comments and crap, probably pinned comment, whatever, where you can learn more about the Kickstarter, about Dungeon Drifters, and then put down your reservation and lock in that cool miniature. So yeah, go do that stuff. It's cool. That's my pitch. Hey Mo, what's up, dude? Yeah, Mo's gonna be at GaryCon. Mo's gonna be playing in a game with me at GaryCon. Mo, you should come playtest too. Come playtest too, man. Get in on that crap. All right, let's go back to the Q&A. 60-10 seems more fun for that belly flop. I'd make it a lot. Yeah. 20d6. Ooh, that'd be nice. I'm mainly just wondering how much a full-grown dragon actually weighs. If it's like an elephant sitting on you, which it has to be at least that heavy, right? There's no d6. Okay, hold on a second. Well, we can figure out how much an elephant weighs, or how much a dragon weighs. So ChatGPT will figure this out for us. I 100% guarantee you. Okay. I gotta share my screen. Okay, here we go. In Dungeons and Dragons, how big is a dragon in Dungeons and Dragons, and how much would an ancient black dragon weigh? Let's just see if it can do that. It's doing pretty well. So it says, the weight of an ancient black dragon isn't explicitly detailed in Dungeons & Dragons sourcebook. Size and dimensions. Okay, it's a gargantuan creature, meaning it's at least 20 feet long, but likely 50 to 20 from snout to tail. Its wingspan, okay, cool. Estimating weight. A reasonable weight estimate for an ancient black dragon could be between 30,000 and 50,000, so 15 to 25 tons. This accounts for its immense size, dense scaled body, large skeletal structure to support its weight. For comparison, elephants, the largest land animals, weigh up to 12,000 pounds. Whales, which are similarly massive to dragons in size, weigh 30,000 to 400,000 pounds, depending on species. Oh, baby, that's crazy. So yeah, it looks like ChatGPT is telling us right there, 30,000 to 50,000 pounds. There you go. There's your answer. See, that wasn't that bad. That was pretty easy. ChatGPT, tell us what's going on, man. The Dungeon Master Ultimate Assistant? Yeah, what is that? Is that like an AI thing too? It might actually run on. It might even hijack ChatGPT or something. A lot of these AI programs that come out, they integrate an existing AI. They probably pass in parameters and, like, you know, what do you want to call it? Things so that the AI knows that you're playing D&D or something like that. Oh, okay, yes. MC Tasman, thank you. He's like, well, Luke, you got to take it one step farther, buddy. Let's go. Okay, how much damage would said dragon do if it belly flopped on a PC from 30 feet in the air? Okay, ChatGPT, now we can see if you're worth your weight in gold. Come on, buddy. It's talking about improvising damage for the belly flop. Man. Okay, so it's saying that 7d10 plus 8 bludgeoning damage is a reasonable approximation for the belly flop, and it shows its work too. It shows all of its work. It's funny. It's like in math class. It's like, all right, I need to prove to the teacher that I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, there you go. And that's kind of what some of the people in chat were saying right around that area. So yeah, there you go. That's fairly reasonable. There you go, baby. Oh, what does it also say? If the dragon lands directly on a PC, consider treating it as a grapple, potentially pinning the character. I think that's totally reasonable. Yeah. Yep. DM screen, improvised damage never lies. Is that what the screen says too? Is it pretty close to that? Oh yeah. I mean, it sounded like everything in there was for 5th edition, so it did. It assumed 5th edition. Like, I didn't tell it 5th edition, but right here, it assumes 5th edition, so it knew what I was talking about. ChatGPT had me covered. World Anvil says it's more than that, like 100. Oof. Oof. Oh, on ChatGPT, people have made GPTs that you can switch between, that they have trained to do certain things. DM Ultimate Assistant is specifically to ask for DM help. I mean, I do the exact same thing. Like, I have a bunch of GPTs that I've trained to do very specific things. Like, I have one that helps me create adventures. You know, like, I'll ask it for certain things. Like, I need a list of like 7 things that are in a chest, a goblin chest, you know, and it's like, it could and then it just gives me a bunch of things, and I'm like, oh, okay, let's do these, that. So it's good for brainstorming and stuff like that. I also have in-game helpers. Like, when I'm running a game, like, I'll have a GPT that's specifically for, like, for instance, when I run my Shadow Dark game. Do I have a Shadow Dark helper? I think I do. I have a Shadow Dark helper, and I have an Escape from the Fae helper. They're game helpers, so they're ready to give me information and stuff as I'm running the game. So if I'm running the game and I need like a name, I'll just type in name for a gnome and it'll spit it out. Or if I need something more complex, there was one time that I had it generate something pretty complex for me, but I needed something really quick because the players ask for something and you're not ready for it, and so GPT can just help you really quick. So I do the same thing. I've trained them to do certain stuff. I have a GPT that helps me calculate calories in food. You know, like I want to know how many carbohydrates, grams of protein, and fat and calories are in a food. And so that's what I use it for. I just throw in the type of food and it kind of spits it out. It seems pretty close. It's probably not super accurate, but it does a decent job. Oh, the doggy heard something. ChatGPT kept me company one time when Discord was down. Ah. Agent Mo says, seeing as the 5e CR system isn't well balanced, what's your advice for newish DMs, Dungeon Masters, who don't yet have an instinct for how to balance encounters? So my advice is to follow the rules. Follow the rules that are in the book, and then you're going to learn. You're going to learn that things don't always work how they should. And that's really all you can do. Follow the rules, and then as you learn better, and as you learn what things don't work and what does work, then you make adjustments. That's really all you can do. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because it can be really frustrating because you get the book, you get the rules, and it tells you how to balance encounters, and then you go to balance the encounters following the rules, and it doesn't work. And you're like, this is stupid. Why didn't it work? Well, the truth is, it's really hard to balance encounters. Like, there's so many variables with the characters. There's variables with the monsters. Like, it's really, really, really hard to create an encounter balance system that works 100% all the time. You know, there's just so many variables in the game. Like, what spells does the wizard have? You know, does the dungeon master allow his characters to go long rest after every fight? You know, is the dungeon master following the adventuring day rule, which most dungeon masters don't even follow? You know, and so there's so many variables. You know, are there 2 paladins in the group? Is there 2 clerics? You know, is the wizard like a super like battlefield control wizard, which arguably is one of the strongest wizards you can make? Just battlefield control. Is he like banishing and wall of forcing and doing like hypnotic pattern and all these things that just kind of like, you know, can really way better than fireball in a lot of ways, you know? So like there's so many things to account for. Like, how can the game designers really like make it balanced? It's gonna be a super, super, super hard thing for them to do, like really hard. So, you know, you gotta just, that's a thing, right? Now, that said, you know, you have a game system like Pathfinder 2 that is fairly balanced. Like the encounters are when you calculate an encounter at a certain level, it's pretty dependable, you know, but that comes at a price. You know, the math is super, super tight. So if you break the math, if you don't follow some of the rules and recommendations, things get nasty. Like, if your players don't get the right amount of loot that pushes them up into being able to, like, if they don't have like their +1 striking rune by X level, then they're falling behind the damage curve, and the monsters are dishing it out, and then they don't have that +1, and they're having a hard time hitting some of these monsters, you know. And so having a game system that is tightly balanced around math, it's both it can be a blessing and a curse. You know, you can have D&D 5th edition, which is fairly unbalanced, you know, and you can just kind of play it loosey-goosey. And there's a lot of tolerance in there, you know, whereas in Pathfinder 2, you know, if I come in a little too hot with an encounter, like, my players may have no hope at all because they can't hit the monster, and the monster is always critting, and it can just be an entire disaster. I might not have given them, I might have placed the this happens a lot with my Pathfinder 2 players. I put magic items in the game, but they don't find them. They don't look for them. Or they go on a side quest. It's actually not their fault. They go on side quests because I give them the plot hooks and then they take them. I should know better, but it's fun. I like doing it. I like tempting them. But I have a quest that I've had planned for over a year, but they've been going on side quests, and there's loot in that quest that they should have had a year ago to help them on their adventures. So I don't know where I was going with that. I think I was answering a question or something. Yeah, Jedi Protector. It's true. Conjure Animals was the most broken spell in 5th edition. It broke me as a GM. That and Animate Objects. Animate Objects was the same deal. I hated that. Yeah, Conjure Animals, Animate Objects. It's like, oh gosh, you know. And then the thing is with Pathfinder 2, conjuration spells are pretty lackluster. Like, they're so situational and so niche that I was trying to play. I was trying as when I was a player in a couple games. I was using some conjuration spells, and it didn't take me very long to realize these spells suck. These spells really suck. They're really bad. And then I'm like, I'm never gonna conjure anything anymore. They're horrible. And then, well, the other thing too is that a lot of magic in general in Pathfinder 2 is really underwhelming. I've actually, as a game master, for Pathfinder 2, I've pretty much stopped casting spells against my players because spells are just underwhelming. Just having my monsters just do special attacks or just melee attacks or ranged attacks or something is usually, it's easier and more satisfying. Because I don't know, I just find that magic is underwhelming to a certain degree, which is kind of. But then you have 5th edition D&D where some magic is normal and some magic is bonkers, like crazy bonkers. It's like you need some middle of the road thing where it's not crazy unbalanced and goes nutsy, but it's not underwhelming either. You want something you can kind of be excited about, but it doesn't break the game. You know, if you could get that would be like the perfect magic system, like exciting but not game breaking, and certainly not underwhelming. You know. How do you remind players of loot they receive? Mine always forget, and I tell them the item could come in handy. Well, yeah, I don't. Will you knock it off? My wife is probably moving upstairs and she barks, but she's doing her job. That's what dogs are supposed to do. If she didn't bark, I wouldn't give her food. Not really. So I feel like, what were we talking about? My dog interrupted me. Oh, the loot. If players got the loot and it's on their character sheet and they just forget to use it, I don't care. That's their problem. That's not my problem. That's a player problem. I'm not gonna go out of my way to remind them, but like, hey, remember you got some stuff over there that's gonna help you. I just don't. I'm not gonna bother, man. That's their problem. They got the loot. It's up to them to read it and remember it. Now, of course, a lot of loot doesn't get used and it just sits there, you know, and then a year later they're like, hey guys, you remember that we have this like orb of annihilation? That could have helped us with that dragon back there. Oh yeah, that would have helped us, wouldn't it? So, I don't know. Whatever. And now if they're not getting the loot because they're not looking for the loot, I tend to try to drop reminders here and there because I don't know. I want them to at least get the loot and have the excitement of, oh, cool loot. Now, if they forget about it, that's their problem. But what was it? I think I had a group. I think this was my Ancient Dragon players. This was about a month or so ago, maybe longer. But they were like going through a castle, just like room after room, kill, destroy, just slaughtering everything in this castle. And they were on this rolling rampage, and they weren't searching bodies, they weren't looking in the rooms, they weren't searching for loot, anything in the first several rooms they went through. So in one of the game sessions, I was like, hey guys, I just want to remind you that there might be stuff you can find in this castle that you might like. And then they were like, oh yeah, and they started looking for loot. They still missed some. There was some magic stuff that they probably would have liked to have that was in one of the rooms that they never looked in. And that's just their loss. You know, they lost out on some magic stuff. It was pretty good too. It was not like crap. But they didn't look for it and they didn't find it. And I don't like that. I feel like I really wanted them to have it, but like, I'm not gonna like drag their noses in it and be like, go to room A5. What room is that? Oh yeah, that's the yeah. So for a minute I thought you were saying your wife was barking. I mean, I don't know. My wife doesn't usually bark. Sometimes I bark, but my wife doesn't. Oh, my dog is barking, yeah. Should we expect Dungeon Drifters to be fulfilled in April 2026? No. No, board games usually, the development cycle for a board game is usually much longer than a book. Like we were doing our research, we usually what we do is we fulfill our Kickstarters within 1 year. That's like our gold standard right now. Like all of our Kickstarters that we run are fulfilled within a year. Like Layers and Legends 2 is, have you guys seen the books? Have I showed you the books? I have the advanced copies. Have I shown you guys the advanced copies? So, I'll show you this in a second. But all of our Kickstarters, our gold standard is we fulfill within a year. That's what we always try to do, always. But when we were looking at board games, it's a different genre for us. It's a different thing for us. And so we're like, we should probably do some due diligence here. And we were looking at a lot of the board games, especially the big major board games. And it's pretty normal for a board game to take up to 2 years to fulfill. It's very normal. And so we're like, yeah, I mean, if the big companies, the people who are really doing this stuff, if it takes them 2 years to fulfill, there's probably a reason. You know, they're probably doing a lot of playtesting and stuff like that afterwards and all this kind of stuff. And, you know, getting miniatures just right and all this stuff takes a little bit of time. And so we're not going to promise to fulfill Dungeon Drifters in 1 year. Our official promise is probably gonna be 2 years. It's probably just gonna be like the industry standard, what everybody kind of seems to do, because it's our first rodeo at creating a game, like a board game. And so it's like we should probably just kind of like not think that wewe're better than everybody else as far as like being able to do it in a year when everybody else seems to take like 2 years. So yeah, but I mean, we have the artwork is almost all done. It's like, what, Zach, 70% done or something? Maybe not for the expansions. We have like so there's the base game. This is the base game. And then there's going to be 3 expansions that you can get also with the Kickstarter. So you have the base game, and then there are 3 expansions you can get. So the artwork isn't done for the expansions. We're slowing our roll just a little bit, but most of the artwork is, now the items aren't, I think we're still working on a lot of the items, but we're doing really well. We'll probably we'll be very close to having all the artwork done for the base game by the time the Kickstarter launches. But I think the thing that's probably going to take a little bit of time is the playtesting. You know, we want to do some good playtesting on this sucker to make sure it's solid and tight, you know. So I think that's probably where we're going to have a bunch of time that we're going to spend in there. So Goliath, he does everything. He's our artwork director / everything else. He says, I would say somewhere around 2/3 to 3/4 done for the artwork. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, we'll promise 2 years, but we usually over deliver. Our goal is always to at least deliver on time, but we always want to deliver early. So I was talking to someone the other day, and they have a Kickstarter that's going to run over by a month or 2. And they were telling me, they were like, yeah, you know, it's going to run over by a couple months. But I was talking to some other people, and that's pretty normal. It's not a big deal. And it's like, yeah, that might be normal, but it tells me that you don't plan your project very well when you run over. That's what it tells me. No. Sometimes there's crazy crap that happens, you know, but sometimes you just don't plan your project very well, because when they launched their project, I knew it was not going to fulfill on time, because I've done this stuff before, and I looked at the timeline and I looked at their projections, and I was like, they're never going to fulfill on time. So it didn't come as a shock to me that it's going to run over, because yeah. Anyway, but I digress. What I did want to say, so Layers and Legends, Loot and Lore, these are the advanced copies. What that means is these are literally already printed. All like 3,000 or so of these books are printed. They are in a shipping container, probably on a dock. They were ready for shipment December 31st. So I don't know if they've already been loaded up on a boat or not, but they're sitting there waiting for it. So these are the two books. This is Lairs and Legends 2 right here. So it's, you know, it's a book. It's a book, baby. The whole thing. And then this is Lair. This is Loot and Lore 2. These books right here. And it's a book, baby. It's a book. Yeah. Whee. And then now, the alt covers. The alt covers. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And then the back side. Oh, these things are hefty too. This will stop a bullet. I 100% guarantee you this will stop a bullet. I mean, the inside is the same. It's the same interior that I just got done showing you because these are just the alt covers. And then, the in pages are match the cover on these ones. And then you got the HT bands are pink too. And then it has the pink ribbon. The pink ribbon, baby. The ribbon too. I'm gonna fold that back up in there. I don't want to lose my ribbons. I'll lose my ribbons. And then this is Loot and Lore 2 right here. Whee! And then the back side. And then it's got nice blue in pages that go with the cover. Whee! It's pretty. The HT band, nice and blue. We got a blue ribbon that goes with it as well. So it's cool. Pretty books. These things. Oh, the spines. You probably want to see the spines. Oh, that's upside down. These things are so heavy. There we go. Those are the spines. And then, oops, spine view like that. There we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Put those right there. Pet the spine before opening the book. You want me to pet the spine? Is that what we're talking about there? I mean, they should be. I mean, yeah, I don't know when the ship leaves port, but yeah, they should be shipping out. They should be ready to go, baby, coming our way. Yeah. Trey the Small says you should strive to be better than normal. Yeah, you should. You should always try to do that. But when you're doing something for the first time, hitting normal expectations, I think, is not a bad goal. Killer Kitty says that'll make a great short. Luke shooting his book to see if it'll actually stop a bullet. I mean, I could literally do that. I could use my I could, you know what I could do? I could use my 22. The 22 is never going to go through the book. The 9mm, I don't know if a 9mm would go through this book. Now, I'm pretty sure my AR would go through the book. 100% guarantee you it's going through this book. It's not going to stop an AR. There's no stinking way. But I bet you it stops a 9mm. I think it would. But this is just me spitballing. And for what it's worth, I'm not shooting my own books. That's bonkers. These things are beautiful. They're like works of art. I'm not going to shoot my advanced copies. And especially on a short that would probably, I don't know, YouTube probably would not like that. They'd be like, well, you're just guns and stuff. You're just bad boy, bad. Yeah, you're never an expert the first time you do anything. No, you never an expert. No. Our first Kickstarter was like, let's just say there were some things that we could have done a lot better, and we've learned a lot. It takes something like 2,000 pages to stop a standard AR round. Oh yeah, for sure. AR's just got so much beef in them. Yeah. Hardcore, man. Like I have to, like my what do you want to call it? My vest I have to have special plates in it for the AR. Like without the plates in it, it will stop up to, what do you call it? The Magnum? What is that big gun that Dirty Harry used? What the heck was that thing? Somebody knows. Somebody who knows guns better than I do. What was the big, huge gun that Dirty Harry used? It was like the 44 Magnum. What? That was it, right? So it's rated. It's rated to stop a Magnum without the plates in, but I have to have rifle plates in for it to stop an AR. I've shot a Desert Eagle before. That was interesting because those things are so heavy. It was loud, but there wasn't a lot of recoil. The Desert Eagle is so heavy that it just kind of like, I mean, your shoulders hurt holding the thing up, you know, but there wasn't a lot of recoil. It was so stinking heavy. The rounds were expensive. It was like, what is it? I rented it and it came with 5 rounds or 6 rounds with the rental. But then if I wanted to shoot more rounds, it was going to be like $1.25 or $2 a round. I forget what it was. This was like a year and a half ago or something, but it was going to be a lot. And so I just shot the 6 rounds or whatever that came with it. And I was like, that's it. I'm just going to shoot what came with the rental just to experience it. But it was pretty cool. Mine's a 5.56. Oh, no, I don't have a 9mm AR. My AR is just a normal AR. You know, it's a 5.56. We covered the ogre, but would you move helpful treasure finds to help your players? It depends. I've done it before, especially if it's something really cool. I've moved it around before. But there's part of me too, as a game master, that like, I know it's all smoke and mirrors at this point, because if I move the treasure where they didn't look to some place that they do look, I know it's all smoke and mirrors and the players won't know the difference. But there's part of me like in here that still believes that there should be consequences for actions. And if you're not looking for treasure, then you shouldn't find the treasure. And even if my players never know that they missed out big time, like I know they missed out big time. And there's part of me that feels that that's the way it should be or something. I know that's not completely logical and it's just based upon my feelings and stuff, which might not make sense, but there's part of me that kind of thinks that way. So I don't know. I would maybe sometimes in rare situations move treasure to where they find it, but I think most of the time I'm just gonna let them miss it and then they're just gonna have to deal with it. We had a game. This was a while ago, but my Pathfinder 2 players were talking about how they were behind the curve on treasure, and it was true, they were. And I told them that there are 2 things going on. 1, I'm still learning the game system, right? And then 2, you guys aren't looking for treasure when you should be, and you're missing it. So that was part of what was going on too. I had quantum treasure, yeah. I had, when I was at the range one day, this was a while ago, I was at the range one day and I heard somebody in one of the stalls, there was this like, boom, boom, like loud. So, what's going on, buddy? You want to come up here? Come on, buddy. Yeah, let's go. That's right. Here's the old man. Here's the dirty old man. What's up, buddy? This is Twitch. He doesn't come on stream very often, but he's a big boy. Yeah, he is old. We call him the dirty old man because he doesn't groom himself. He's really dirty. Well, my wife cleans him. My wife brushes him out and tries to clean him a little bit, but he's pretty dirty. What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? And he's grouch too. Meow, meow. He's a big boy. This was like one of my first cats. So I lived down in Central America for like 4 years or so. And when I came back to the US, this was my first cat that I got when I was back in the US. So he is an old boy. He was probably a year old in 2007. So what's that? Do the math. If he was born in 2006, how old is he? 18 years? Is that 18 years old? That's how old this dude is. Am I getting my math right? He is an old boy. He's an old boy. Oh, he's a big one. Oh, he's adorable. He's a big turd. He likes attention, though. What was I talking about? You stink, too. You got some stank going on. Oh, woo. Jeez. Man. He's dirty. Oh, yes. We were talking about loud guns. So I heard this, like, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, what is that? Because, like, I'm used to hearing... Usually when I'm at the range, an AR is, like, the loudest you're going to hear a gun, you know? Like, most of the stuff's not any louder than that. And I didn't know what this was. And I looked over, and it looked... The guy, he had an AR, it looked like. It was an AR platform, right? And I'm like... And I saw him, I'm like, dude, what are you shooting? And he's like, it's an AR shotgun. And I was like, oh, no way. And he's like, yeah, and he let me shoot a couple rounds. I shot a few rounds off from it. And it was different, man. Because it was the AR platform, but it was shooting a shotgun. You know, what did he have in it? He must have had a slug in it, because you can't shoot birdshot or whatever at the range. That would screw up their stuff. So yeah, it must have just been slugs or something. But it was, ooh, man. I had a bruise right here, dude. I only shot, like, I think I shot 3 rounds or something. The rounds were expensive, he said, so I didn't want to, like, shoot up a bunch of his rounds, you know. That wouldn't have been cool. But I only shot, like, 3 rounds or something. It wasn't that many. And I had a stinking... And I know how to hold the stock tight and stuff. It's not, like, slamming against me. I know how to hold it, right? And I had a freaking bruise right here, man. I'm like, what the... So it was kind of bonkers. I might have had it in the wrong place. I don't know. But I had a bruise, dude. And that was... That tells you something, man. That thing had kick. Jeez. I was at the range once using my 22 long rifle for target practice, and this guy lit up with a 308. Nearly peed myself. I felt wind over my stall from his pew-pew. Yeah. When I first started shooting, like, it was interesting because all of sometimes when somebody's shooting a loud gun, you would, like, just feel it reverberating in you. You know what I mean? But then I got to the point where you don't even notice it anymore. But then this dude was shooting that shotgun, and it was like, holy crap, man. What is this? Most of those AR style shotguns are trash? Really? Interesting. Why would you say they're trash? My youngest says, hello, Twitch. Can I use you for my character's familiar? What are your stats, please? Yes. Okay. Anna Lee, he can certainly use Twitch for his familiar. So he's just a standard black cat. Okay. His stats. Let's start with armor class. His armor class is probably going to be a 7 because he is super slow and super frail. Hit points. I mean, 1 is the minimum, right? What are you going to do? Strength. Very low. Dexterity. Very low. He is slow and ponderous. Constitution. 1. He's an old man. Intelligence. Average cat intelligence, whatever that would be. What's the next one? Wisdom. He's on the wise side, let's say. Now, charisma. Okay, charisma. He's pretty low on charisma. I don't know. He's cute and adorable, but he is a grouch. When he wants his treat, he'll just sit by his dish and be like staring at you. Like, you could give me treat if you wanted to, but you're not. You're just sitting there, and I want my treat. And he gets treat like 5 times a day or something, you know. And he just stares at you, and then he does this. What you heard him when he came up here. He'll be like, "Mah!" when he wants something, you know. And he stinks. Oh gosh, it's like his ears or something. He's just got. It's not his mouth, because I could tell if it was the mouth that stank. but he's got some sort of like crap in his ears or something that stinks really bad. So, yeah, I don't know. He's dirty. He's a dirty old man. My hands are all dirty now. Twitch, you're getting everything dirty, Twitch. Oh, the AR shotguns are cheaply made and don't hold up over time. Oh yeah, I'm pretty big on getting well-made guns. Like, the, what is it? I forget the brand name of the AR that I have, but it was when I was at the gun range talking to the guys and stuff. I do Google searches too to research the brands before I buy it, but it was a very reputable brand. And it was not cheap either, which usually is a good indicator whether it's good or not. Not always, but it's a fairly good indicator. And then the my pistols, my 9mm are both CZs, which is a really good brand. I've only had, so I have a Shadow 2, and I don't think that has ever had a malfunction at all. And then my normal carry is a what the heck is that thing? It's a CZ75 Omega. I don't know. That thing has malfunctioned once. The casing got stuck in the ejection port, basically. So I've only ever had one malfunction, and I've put thousands of rounds through those things, so I've had one malfunction on that thing. So, yeah, I definitely like getting quality stuff because it just works. Like, it's like this is like the thing you buy that when you need it to work, you need it to work. You don't ever want it to not work, you know. So spending more to make sure you get something that works, I think, is a pretty important thing when it comes to a firearm. There's some stuff that if it doesn't work, who cares? You know, if it's like the brakes on your car, you know, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. What's the worst that's going to happen? As long as like the seatbelt works, you're okay, right? Yeah, I don't have a CZ rifle. I forget the name of my rifle. It's upstairs. I couldn't even look at it. I'd have to go upstairs to look at it. But I got a really good rifle too. The AR. No, I don't like Glocks. They're uncomfortable in my hands. Like, one of the big reasons I got a CZ, first of all, it's a metal frame. I like the heavier ones because I don't know, I just like the heavier guns. So I like the metal frames. And then they also have very, very ergonomical hand. Like the grips are very ergonomical. The Shadow 2 grip, oh, it's beautiful. The CZ75, beautiful ergonomic grip. It's beautiful. The Glocks are these like square, chunky, like at an angle, like, ugh. And the Glocks are really light, you know? So it's like they're just, compared to a metal frame, they're jumping around on me and crap, you know? And then also the way they put, so the slide, so at least for the CZs I have, the slide is inset down into like the lower receiver part a little bit. It's inset, so it's like it's got a lower profile, so to speak, which keeps the mass together, which I think helps with the recoil and crap, you know, because it's all like more concentrated. Whereas like a Glock, the Glocks at least that I was looking at, they're not like that. The slide just kind of sits on the top of it, you know. It's not the same configuration. So you have like a higher profile, and it's a light gun with a higher profile. I didn't like it. And then the Glocks I was shooting were malfunctioning all the time too, constantly. I constantly was clearing jams, and I don't know, I wouldn't call it a jam, but it would be like a misfeed or something. I don't know. I had tons of malfunction with the Glocks that I was shooting. I was like, these things are malfunctioning all the time. They're not fun to hold. I don't like that they're light. I was like, I don't like these things, man. I just didn't like them. But then I picked up the CZ Shadow 2, and I was like, oh, this thing feels nice. And then same thing with the CZ75. Now they're full metal frames, so those things are heavy. So I'm like carrying this thing around all day, and it's like, it gets, you know, you feel it. It's there. You know, when you get home and you can take it off, it's like, it feels good. But I don't know. I've never been a fan of Glocks. I've shot them and stuff, and I've just never liked them. So I don't know. Lower bore axis, closer to the hand. Yeah, there you go. Helps with the felt recoil. Yeah, there we go. There's some gun terminology that I just don't know. But that was well put. Thank you. That's what I was trying to say exactly. The ABS needs to work properly. Yeah. Okay. So his stink attack. Yeah, Twitch has a stink attack for sure. Oh, you've been gunsmithing for a few years? Oh, cool. That's awesome, dude. Walking around strapped still amazes me as a Dutch person. No, dude, it's totally normal. It feels like, to me, it feels completely normal now. It feels, when I have to go somewhere, like my wife and I like to go to casinos, and I can't carry a firearm in a casino. It's completely like bad. You caught with that, you're in big trouble. So here, like I always have to de-arm when I go to a casino, which feels weird to me, but yeah, it is what it is. That's life. And none of the security guards there have firearms, so it's like, so if a bad person came in, none of you can do anything. Come on, man. Of course, we were at a casino on New Year's Eve, and there were real police officers in that casino at the very least, so that made me feel better. Oh yes, Texas, baby, woo! I feel the same way. I'm basically always carrying. It feels weird when I'm not. Yeah, I 100% agree. Texas is sweet. I've been there once. That was cool. All right, I think we need to draw the winner of our giveaway. You guys I'll give you one last moment. You got 2 minutes to go join the giveaway. If you have not joined the giveaway already, hopefully we can get a link. There's a link in the chat. It's free. The winner will get $50 DM Lair store credit, and I will draw the winner in just 2 minutes. This is your last chance to go join the giveaway. Yep, there we go. Go join that. And then also, don't forget, go click the link down in the description or the pinned comment or the chat to go learn more about Dungeon Drifters. It's going to be launching in April. If you put down your $1 reservation, you get a free mini and their loot drop when you back the project. So go check that bad boy out. Some cool stuff. Annalise says, thanks, Luke. She wrote his stats down. Cool. She says, Twitch is perfect. He will be a grouchy distraction for my enemies. With 1d4 stink damage. Yes. Kirby will sing Smelly Cat from Friends to summon him. Yes. I don't know what that is, but yes, that sounds very cool. Twitch, you hear that, Twitch? You're going to be in somebody's D&D game. He's very excited. He's sitting there looking at the dog. He's excited. Just don't get him killed. The link says it ended? Why would it end? No, it's not. It ends tonight at midnight. It's not ended at all. It does say it's ended. What happened? What happened? Why does it say it's ended? It hasn't ended. Hold on a second. Uh-oh. Well, some people are entering it. There's a whole bunch of... Why did it say it's ended? What is going on? It ends on January 2nd, 2025 at 11:59 p.m. Yeah, some people have definitely joined. Yeah. Oh, it said it was ended, then you clicked it again and it said it was working. Interesting. There are 2 links in the chat. Oh, poop. I might have forgotten to update one of the links that goes out. I'm sorry. That's probably my bad. But use the link that Goliath Cleric is dropping right there, and then you can get in on it. I screwed something up when I was doing my bot. That's what happened. Oh, Jonathan, yeah, I'm a teacher. Not caring is the only part of my job I don't like. Yeah, I feel that, dude. When I was, what was it? I was like, there was, I was in like active shooter training for a job I used to have. And, this was like, police were, they were like, I think they were like sheriffs from a county near where I live or in the city I live in or something, but they were there, they were the ones giving the training, and they were basically said, they're like, yeah, you know, if you're like, you know, not in a place where you can't carry, we recommend you take like wasp spray. Like if they don't let you carry, take wasp spray. And he's like, that stuff will blind you, man. You spray that at somebody, they're gonna be blinded, and it's got a good distance too. Just spray them up with wasp spray. That's what they were saying. I assume it works. I mean, that's what they were recommending. This was like active shooter training, but they're like, yeah, you know, you can't carry on the job and stuff. It sucks. So just take wasp spray. And they were like, we recommend that to teachers too. You know, have some wasp spray in your room so that if somebody comes in, you know, at least you got something you can do instead of just cowering and getting shot or something. So. Yeah, that's what they were saying. Wasp spray. I don't know if that works or whatever, but yeah, that's what they were saying. They said it blinds people. Exactly. But if somebody's trying to shoot you, like, hey, blinding them is, you know, you shouldn't be trying to shoot you. I don't know if it's a permanent. I don't know if it permanently blinds you, but it messes you up for sure, man. My next group's magic item, wasp spray. Yeah. Oh, that's cool, Jonathan. Yeah, that's awesome. Pepper spray. Yeah, but pepper spray, some people doesn't work on them, man. Pepper spray is one of those things. It's like tasers. Some people it just doesn't do anything to them, and they just fight right through it, man. Just fight right through it. So it's not super dependable. Because when it doesn't work and you need it to work, you're screwed. Okay. Draw the winner. Draw the winner to the giveaway. I was just like stalling so people can enter the giveaway, but now I'm going to draw the winner. Drawing the winner. Draw the winner. Here we go. Draw. Draw. All right. James from Missoula, Montana. James from Missoula, Montana. You have won, good sir. You have won. I'll be sending you an email. We'll get you hooked up with some cool crap. Store credit, Dealmer Store. By the way, Missoula, that is so there is this mini series on Netflix that I watched that was really good, I thought, called Made. And Missoula, I think, is a city that she constantly talks about because she was going to go to a college in Missoula. And so that came up a bunch in that miniseries. So when I saw that Missoula, I was like, hey, I've heard of Missoula before. It was in that movie or that miniseries or whatever. So anyway, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all they wrote. I'm getting out of here. It's time for me to go to bed. Thank you for hanging out. I'll be here next week. We'll do the same thing, just kind of chill, answer questions and all that kind of stuff. So we'll see you then. I'm gonna go now. It's time for me to leave. Whee!